What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Anna character guide for Tekken 8. This video we're going to focus just on moves and stances and properties and stuff like that. Combos will be in its own video, as will the general play style and game plan strategy type stuff. Separate video. I'm hoping to keep each of these about 20 to 30 minutes each, because I think that makes it a little bit quicker to just open up the video you want and not have to look through a whole library of details. So to get things started, I always like to open up with punishers. These are your fastest damaging moves, and a lot of them are good out in neutral on top of capitalizing on opponent mistakes. I think it's really good to have these locked and loaded in your memory for those situations, as well as just remembering what your best 12 frame move is for, gaps in opponents' offenses and stuff like that. These are just a good toolkit to have memorized. So I like to start with that so you get a good impression first. 10 frames, she has 2-3. Really good string that goes into Chaos Judgment with 8 frames of advantage. That's excellent right away. If you're muscle memoried into just doing 1-2 for everything, that's also fine. She has 1-2-1. That's all guaranteed. It's minimal damage. It's 0 on hit, but if that's the way your brain works, go for it. Otherwise, 2-3 is much better than 10 frames. 13 is back to 2. This move is high, but it jails. They can't duck it on block, and there's no third string for them to duck or cancel or anything like that now, so it just is what it is. Pretty good damage. Nothing remarkable here. 14, however, opens up a bit. You get forward 2-3, which is very good. Super rangy. Nice damage, causes the spin back, which would splat to the wall. Or you can do 3-2. 3-2 is now that little hop and follow-up. That does even more damage and forces them into crouch if you don't want the knockdown. So they both leave you in a pretty good situation. Just depends on which one you're feeling at the time, I guess. Or you can choose Heat Engager, 3+4. 14 frame Heat Engager, mid. So you have all 3 choices of 14 frames depending on what you need. And 15, you've got a launcher. Generic down forward 2, launcher, no big deal. Crouching, you have the generic while standing 4, just like everyone else. You also have while standing 3, which lists the frame data as the same, 11 to 12, but I don't trust that. I kind of consider that 12. I feel like that might screw you over sometimes. I don't know. I wouldn't really test it that much. But if that's 11, that's your go-to. Gives you 8 frames to go into Chaos Judgment with. That's way better than while standing 4. So take your pick with one of those. 13, while standing 1-2, does a nice chunk of damage. This one goes right into Pleasure Time. So you can fire Pleasure Time 1 and tag them with that debuff no matter what. They can't do anything about it. That's pretty damn good for a 13. 14, you can do 3+4 from a while standing state. The same Heat Engager you had before, just do it while standing and it works the same. And your launcher from crouch is 16 instead of 15 while standing 2. Looks like it's a fundamentally the same move, but it is a frame slower. So your launch is at 16. Not bad. Pretty good set of punishers all around. Your 10 is good, your middle frames are good, and you have a launch. That's kind of all you need to worry about. Crouching, your 11 is probably really, really good, and your 13 is really, really good. So that's all you need, really. You don't have to worry yourself with too many more details beyond that. Next up, let's move on to stances. These are what make the character tick. They're the core of how your character operates and distinguish themselves from others, especially here in Tekken 8, where everybody has stances and transitions and stuff. So Anna's always had some, and now she's got even more, and they're much crazier. They really fit the archetype of just do stuff and mix it up and be crazy, and people are going to get hit. Really frenetic pressure character. So all her stances fit that pretty well. First up is the new Hammer Chance. Forward 3, goes into it manually. She does that little wave. Or you can go into it from a pretty good list of moves. 1-2, just your 1-2 jab, go into it when you hold forward. So does 2 by itself. It's 2 by itself and hold forward. There you go, 2 into stance. That's really good. 1-2-2, when that move hits, automatically goes into stance. And then the other iterations of that move, like just 2-2 itself. So there you go, into stance on hit. Down forward 1-2. Holding forward does it, as does down forward 3-2, holding forward. So those you can do on block if you hold forward, doesn't matter. The other ones only work on hit. Down back 4, a nice toe tap low goes into stance on hit. Back 4, same thing. Big sweeping mid into stance, and up forward 2, counter hit launcher into stance. So all those go into Hammer Chance, either on hit automatically or by holding forward. General rule of thumb, your frames are not good if it gets blocked. Right, like that's 0 into the stance, and that's not great. They can generally blow you up, but if it hits and goes into stance at +7, you can run whatever mix-up you want. They wouldn't be able to interrupt it with buttons. So that's a rule for the most part, and it's something that Anna still has to worry about, but I also wouldn't worry about it, you know? Sometimes it's better to just do stuff. The decision-making process of them going into of doing the right thing when you just do 2 in the stance, like look how fast that is. That's not a string. That's 2 into hammer stance and then a low. They're not going to be able to do the right thing at all times. So you can kind of cowboy it up a little bit if you want to, not be obsessed with the frames, but watch yourself. So once you're in hammer chance, you got a pretty good set of options here. First up, the 1 is a heat engager. Big high snap elbow. It's basically the same elbow that she already had, like that. It's just hidden in the stance. Boom. This one's a heat engager. 13 frames. That's very nice. 2, 1, 2. Big smashes with the bazooka. All that's a natural combo, breaks the floor. Gigantic hits right away. You know this means business. It's even plus on block at the end of it. I'm going to assume they step that 3rd hit if they see it coming, but it's up to you, right? That's not something you worry about as an Anna player. That's their job. 2-2, however, slightly different. This one on hit leaves you into the pleasure time stance, which is the bazooka ready to fire. And this one's a tornado. So 2-1 is a strong aerial tailspin during combos, and 2-2 is a tornado during combos as well. 3, as we saw, is a low, a homing low. They can't avoid that. That's pretty nice to tie the room together. A homing move and a low, all you need. 4 is a mid with tremendous pushback. This is a long-range move. Pretty nice all around. It's just not like high reward. It's just a good mid to have, right? Look how far away they are. Pretty neat. 1 + 2 is one big singular bazooka smash. You're not going to do that a ton. But again, it's the same thing as the 3rd hit of the other one. So the plus frames are good if you don't think they can step it. So it's actually not too bad. Back 3 lets you just cancel into Chaos Judgment stance. Boom. And then you have a throw. Either 1 + 3 or 2 + 4, you've got a throw. And this is where Anna has her chain throws. But this time it's pretty simple. All you do is once the throw connects, you either press 1. And you get this sequence. You switch the sides. Or you do the throw and you press 2. You get that sequence. Which doesn't switch sides. And like a lot of characters now, you get your heat moves in stance. So during stance, you can press 2 + 3 to do your heat burst. And 2 + 3 to do your heat smash from hammer stance. So that's it. That's pretty solid, right? That quick high heat engager, bunch of mid bazooka smashes, this cool mid kick, homing low, and a throw. Right? That's a good arsenal, and the ability to cancel into another stance. Very good stuff all around. And we'll talk more about this in the strategy video. This is just to familiarize you with here's your move set. It's its own tab in the Google Doc. Hammer moves right there. I think it helps to learn them together as a set, the high, mid, low, the track, this, that, all as a unit. That way, when hammer comes up, you're ready to like make the right choice instead of having to think about it as much. It's a little more automatic that way. Next up is Chaos Judgment. This one is even more prolific. This is a stance she always had, and it's greatly expanded now. You do this by just hitting back 3 all on its own, or a litany of moves that go into it. 2-3 or 10-frame Punisher we talked about does it. Also does it on block at negative, so you got to be careful there. If you're just going to do that, watch yourself. 3 alone. 3 is this hopping knee kick now. Goes into stance. Hit or block. Then down, forward, 1, 2, 3 is a string you have that does that kick. You hold back, it cancels that last hit into Chaos Judgment. Same with down, forward, 3, 1, that little spin palm. Hold back and it cancels. Down, 4, 1. You've seen this a lot if you've played against Anna's. Also hold back to cancel into Chaos Judgment. Forward, forward, 4 is commando roll launcher. You can also hold back there to get to Chaos Judgment, which is pretty useful. Forward, forward, 3 + 4. This little flutter kick thing does it automatically. Quarter circle 2, 1 is a 2-hit natural combo launcher. But you hold back, cancels that second hit if you don't think you got him. That's very tricky. While standing 3 is the same kind of kick as we saw in the first 2. It goes into Chaos Judgment. Pleasure Time, the bazooka stance. You press 3, does the same thing. Cancels bazooka readiness, goes into stance. And as we mentioned, from the other hammer stance, goes into chaos stance as well. So those are your ways to get into it. Once you're in there, your list of options is really good, as I said. This quick little one is a very, very fast move. At 11 frames, if you're going into stance, which is like a couple of frames advantage, that's unbeatable, and it counter hits, and you get a big follow-up off of it. So Chaos Judgment 1 is good. 2-1's a heat engager. Starts with a mid strike, or starts with a high strike, but is high mid. They're not going to be able to like avoid that or anything, so that's pretty good. Not super fast, but good enough. 3-2. Boom, boom. Mid kick into a bazooka blast. This is kind of cool. The blast itself is pretty bad on block if you're that close, so you got to be careful with that. It's a little weird to think about projectiles and their, frames, but this one's not that good if you're going to just let it rip. But again, you don't play that way as an Ana player. You just kind of go for stuff and hope it works. Next up is 4. This is a big power crush. Causes that hard flip on the ground. Pretty good all-around move. Relatively fast. Not the fastest again, but usually you're going into this dance with a good frame advantage, so it doesn't matter that much. 1+2. Another simple mid attack. Nothing fancy necessarily about it. Plus on block and enforces crouch. That's always a good thing. And again, you can do your heat engager. You can do 3+4 out of this stance as well, which is way, way faster than 2-1. So it makes you wonder why 2-1 exists at this point, but here we are. You have a low in the form of down 3-3. Very risky because it's low-high. If they did duck it, they're going to launch you straight up for it. But it's a good low. +7 on hit. They're going to get hit with it a lot, so it lets your offense keep going. It's worth going for. You have access to all your up-forward moves from Chaos Judgment. That means up-forward 1 is this bazooka. Up-forward 2 is the other version of it. Whenever you have bazooka shots like that, the 1 causes that purple weakened state, and we'll talk about that later. It's a debuff that gets applied on hit or block. So you have either one of those there. You have up forward 3, which is this long-range jump kick, and up forward 4 is a launcher. It's a little bit different than your normal up forward 4, but they work pretty much the same way. So you can just kind of think about it that way. Regular up forward 4 is a launcher. Chaos Judgment up forward 4 is a launcher. Basically the same thing. Forward 3 takes you into Hammer Chance, just like Hammer Chance takes you back. So you can do either one. You can just switch stances like that. They're both interchangeable there. And you can do down forward. You press down forward, she does this roll. This roll has 2 options. 3 kick, that's a counter hit launcher, causes a crumple stun. And 4 is a regular hit launcher, but it's a high. So people that know that and they see that coming, you got to take a choice there. A little bit risky, but pretty good. It's kind of cool to have that stuff. So again, your opponent's not going to make the right decision every time, so go for it. And lastly, heat stuff is accessible. Heat burst you can do from stance, and once you're in heat smash is available. It's true for most characters. So that's a much bigger list, but it's all really good stuff. A quick high, couple mid heat engagers, a mid power crush, some plus on block stuff, launchers, jump kicks, and then another stance layer with the roll stuff if you're really feeling frisky, and a pretty good low. So that's Chaos Judgment. Same thing. I think it helps to learn them in a chunk, so you kind of associate them all to each other, and that way it comes more automatic. When you know you're going into chaos, the options are ready in your brain. The last stance is called Pleasure Time, which is the bazooka ready. There's only a couple ways to do it, and they all have to require a hit. You can't just do this stance manually. Down back 2, when it hits, does this. Hammer 2-2. 1+2, and then holding forward. That has to hit, and you have to hold forward. The ready bazooka stance. And while standing, 1-2. Goes into Pleasure Time. That's it. They have to hit. There's no other way to do that. So it's mostly a combo thing for the most part. It's not ultra practical, but there are definitely uses for it. Like if you get a counter hit on down back 2 or something like that, you get a shot for free. Or even if it hits, you can do that, and they can't do anything about that. So Pleasure Time 1 is the purple bazooka shot that causes the debuff, and Pleasure Time 2 is basically the same thing without the debuff. You have 3, which, as we talked about, goes back into Chaos Judgment. And then 4 is a low. Just keep them honest. That's all there is. So bazooka shot, Chaos Judgment loop, or a low. But those are only accessible on certain hits, so they're not quite practical, and they're good in combos, but just be aware. Down back 2 is a really good move because of that. If that hits, you get a debuff for free. So just keep in mind this stuff is really good. Counter hit on 1+2. Free debuff, all that stuff. Good rewards, just not something you're going to be able to use all the time. It's not that accessible. So those are the stances. That's what makes the character tick. Her offense revolves around using those stances, the mix-up, and the confusion of transitioning in and out of stances and sidesteps and cancels and whatnot. That's how the character really works. So let's take a look at the general move list. I'm not going to cover every single thing. They're going to be broken up and organized. I just want to talk about her whole moves and just sort of go over them briefly so you know what's up there. You can look at the whole list in the Google Doc, or you can look at this like outline of her moves to see what I'm talking about now and why they're all, you know, kind of organized this way. So first up, let's look at high pokes. Just general moves that you have that are highs. You have the whole 1 series. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1, 2. All of this stuff. 1, 2, 4. Tons of these things. There's a lot of options. This is all highs though. 1, 2, 1 and 1, 2, 4. These are all highs. They're going to be ducking when they see this jabby stuff sometimes. There's counter hits in there too. So if they do kind of get frisky at the wrong moment, you can make them pay. 1, 2, 2 got a counter hit. All that stuff. So be wary of the highs, but it's not that big a deal. This jabby stuff is also good. It's going to be hard for them to react correctly again, like I said. So don't worry about it too much. Just don't get too out of control with the highs. One jab stuff is all pretty good. 2, 2 is just the middle part of that. It's the same thing as 1, 2, 2. So you can press forward after the first hit to go into hammer. The second hit, when it connects, will go into hammer and is a counter hit launcher. If they press buttons in that delay, they get counter hits launched by that. So this is another way to mess up the timing. It's the exact same thing as 1, 2. It just skips the first hit, so the number of hits is different. Pretty cool. And also 2, 3 and 2, 4 will complement that. You have 2, 3, which is natural combo mid that keeps them from ducking. 2, 4, which is a nice little get off me poke. So all of that together, keep it moving, keep it fast. The speed is important. They're all pretty good to keep the opponent off balance. The timing and the rhythm are what's key, because it's going to get worse when you start doing stances. The gaps and everything really mixes it up a lot. So it's important to build it up with some good jabs and quick poke to keep them from thinking quickly. Back 2, 2 is pretty good. I mentioned this is your 13 frame Punisher. I like this move now. It's homing. It's jails on block. They can't duck that anymore, and there's no cancel or whatever. It just is what it is. Pretty good string, I like. It's nice to just be able to do it. There's no real risk to it. If they anticipated and ducked, so be it. Again, don't worry about that. It's a good move. Quarter circle forward 1 is this elbow. This is your best high poke for sure. It's super fast. There's a just frame version of it that has blue sparks that does bonus damage. And the counter hit, you get a gigantic launcher off of it. Launches way up in the air, you get a huge combo. And it's plus on block. It's plus 1 on block. So this, you can't do this enough, right? Every time you do something, bang, poke, low poke, bang, bang, elbows. It's good stuff. 4, 2, 1 plus 2 is this whole string that actually is a counter hit launcher. Their effort to get rid of magic 4s, they make you commit to a string, and this is the same thing. You have to do the whole thing to get your combo. If you caught 4 as a counter hit, but then you can see it. You do 4, 2 all day long. This is safe. So you can kind of just throw that out, and as soon as you see the counter hit launcher, let the third hit go, and you'll get your combo that way. Kind of cool. Not the greatest thing in the world, but for an 11 frame, it's a magic 4. You just have to commit. That's all it is. So they didn't get rid of magic 4s. They just made them higher risk. And what do we do with risk as an Nana player? We do not care about it. Lastly is forward, forward 2. Maybe the other best high. Superior range. This is homing. Knocks down. They don't get up. You get follow-ups. Plus on block. What more do you want from a high? Can't say enough about this superior range, though. This thing is gigantic. She's swinging an entire bazooka at you. So as long as you're anywhere in bazooka length, you got to worry about it. Those are your highs. Next up, take a look at mids, of which there are a lot. Tons of mids. Tons of really good stuff in this character, to be honest. It's a relatively short list, but everything that's there is pretty good. I talked about 3, 2. Just a basic string. 14 frame string gets you that. The hit by itself. Chaos Judgment. Just finishing the string is not that bad. It's only minus 11. You're going to risk a while standing 4 at worst. And that's nice damage. So pretty good. You keep doing this a lot, and then you cancel it, and you change up your plan, and go into lows and stuff. Really good. Back 4 is one of her superior moves. This mid homing from downtown goes into stance on hit. Gets you lots of options from there. Really good move in back 4 all around. Down forward 1 and down forward 3. They both lead to series of strings like this. Lots of very similar stuff. 3, 2, 2, down forward 1, 2, 2. They all have the same like sort of build that's a classic like Tekken 2 or 3 string. The same attacks appear in different places. So a lot of them kind of mirror each other. You can press forward to go into stances. You can counter hit launchers every time you get that kick. You have third hits, fourth hits, and all of these things. There's a lot to learn, but they're all pretty good. The down forward 3-1 cancels into chaos. 3-2 cancels into ham. She can sidestep this. It's really good. There's all kind of options in there. And there's even down forward 3+4, which will launch people that duck. Crazy stuff. All of this together fast and stancing. This poke, jabby, jabby stuff is all really good. Jabby, jabby, poke, sidestep, cancel, stand, and you name it. It's all really good. Down back 1, 2, and down back 1, 4. Neither of these is a natural combo. And I think down back 1, if you just hold down back, you go into crouch. I think that's a lot more useful. Being able to access her crouch is way more valuable than these weird strings that don't connect anymore. I don't know. It's a weird transition. They change this up every time she's in a game. I don't know if I like this one as much, but whatever. 1+2 we've also talked about. Really fast, homing, mid, plus on block. When you get a counter hit, you get tons of good follow-ups. Down 2. Nice quick little mid, forces crouch, plus on block. On counter hit, you get a nice stomp follow-up. That's pretty cool. A couple of sidestep mids. You got 3, which is that big overhead. This is really annoying in quick pressure situations because it's going to be plus on block again and force crouch. You gotta love that stuff. Not only are you doing wild frenetic things in your stances and canceling, a lot of them are forcing them to crouch and being plus and really, really limiting their options. That's what matters the most. Bad decision making plus a limited set of options, that's good stuff for the Ana player. Up forward 3+4. A little weird, but it's very safe. It forces crouch and it's only -3. It's quick. They're gonna have a hard time like sidestepping that. On hit, you don't get too much either, but it's just a nice little like rhythm break, I think. I'm not quite sure what to make of that situation there. Like Ana's in crouch, and so were they. It's weird. I kind of like it, but it's not amazing. Back 1-2-2 is a classic Ana string. This version of it's not too bad. First 2 were hit, and on block, it's only -11. That's not too bad. But if you see the counter hit, you can confirm the third hit, and you get like 57 damage. That's probably worth the damage to throw yourself out there once in a while. Not a big deal. Down back 2, we've covered. When it goes into hit, you get pleasure time, which is really good. On hit, free debuff. Boom. Up forward 2, counter hit launcher. One of the other moves that goes into hammer stance all by itself. On counter hit, you get a tornado, and you get a whole combo from there. Safe on block otherwise, that's an excellent move. Along with up forward 3, another excellent move. Kicks from downtown, beats lows, counter hit follow-up, you name it. Very, very, very good move from out here. Might take a little bit of time up close. A little better at mid-range perhaps, but it's an excellent move. Forward 3+4. This little flutter kick thing is counter hit launcher. Safe on block. 0 into chaos, that's pretty damn good. I like that. Jumps over lows, safe, counter hit launch. Cool. 3+4, the other 2 buttons, is your heat engager. Just like a conventional shoulder. Real fast, knocks down heat engager. Forward 1+2 is the blonde bomb, just like Nina. This one's just not as good. It's not safe. You get a follow-up and counter hit, but it's not remarkable. I can't really see a purpose to this move when other things exist. Like, just do 1+2. This is a better move. Forward 1+2 is a charged-up kind of version of blonde bomb. This is just better in general. Forward 1+2, kind of whack. Forward 1+2, way better. You can charge it up and it becomes plus on block. That's way better. Forward 3-2, this big heat engager with the bazooka. Or forward 3-3. Low poke that leaves you plus on block. This is going to get super annoying. They start low parrying that, they're going to wish they did when they get clobbered by the heat engager. So that's a pretty good mix-up in your favor, right? You're not risking a ton. I guess low parries aren't great, but your rewards are there too. That fits Ana, right? You don't care about high risks. The rewards are always really good for you. To hell with the risks. Forward 4, commando roll we talked about, plus on block, launcher, good stuff, and stance transition if you want it. Quarter circle 2-1 we've also seen before. This is a natural combo, causes tornado. And if you don't think you have it, you can cancel into Chaos Judgment. Boom, go from there. Sidestep 1+2 is another mid, which happens to be a launcher. That's also very good stuff. Can't complain about that. While running 2-4 is a mid, but I don't think it's that good. While running 4 is just better to go with. I wouldn't worry about too much else there. So that's a giant arsenal of mids. huge amount of stuff, but they all have cool little utilities, and they all especially balance out the pokey, stance, transition, cancel, sidestep game. That's all paramount. So the little bits add up to the bigger bits. But highs and mids are great. You need lows. And she's got a great set of lows. This is probably a pretty good character. Down forward 4 might be launch punishable, but again, you do not care. It's plus a lot on hit. Counter hit, you get follow-ups. That's a great low. Down back 4. Whoops, that's down back 3. Excuse me. Don't ever do down back 3. Down back 4 is a quicker, less risky version of it that on hit gets you hammer stance. That's awesome, right? Like, this is a really good thing. That low poke into stance is incredible. Down 4-1 looks like it's an innocuous poke, but it cancels into sidestep. It cancels into chaos. And if you get hit by the counter hit of that, you get a jab follow-up. They can hit you with 2-3. She can do 2-3 for free and then go into chaos that way. So cancel it into chaos, or if you flinch, she gets more damage into chaos. That's just so much to think about. Really good stuff. Down 4-1, annoying as hell. Sidestep 2 is a low. Very evasive low. She gets down to the ground and avoids, hits a low. Counter hit gives her a gigantic frame advantage, but no real follow-ups. Still worth having. If she beats your move and hits, it's probably going to counter hit a lot. So keep that in mind. You can go for some big stuff when that works. Down 3-2 does not launch anymore. Still needs to be a counter hit. But that second hit now is plus a ton on hit. It says 14, 15, depends on your distance. But when you're near the wall, guaranteed. That's a guaranteed damage. This doesn't work out in the open. Let me show you from further away here. You don't get anything out in the open. She's too far away. So when you're at the wall, if that happens to hit, if this is counter hit, you get to spike them for free or to splat them free. That's not bad. And the risk is only -11 again. It used to be a lot worse when it was a launcher. So down 3-2, change utility entirely. Turns out to be pretty good. Down 3 also lets you just stay in crouch. You want to do it that way too, right? Threaten mids that way. Good option. Down 3-4-1 is a high instead of that mid. It has this. This is all around kind of risky in my opinion. I don't think it's great, and the 3-4 is not a natural combo either, so you're just asking them to try to step that third hit. I don't know. It complements down 3-2, but I'd rather just go for down 3-2 near the wall, and that's it, not worry about it otherwise. Down back 3+4, kind of divisive. Most players can block this. It's relatively slow. They should be able to block it. The 4 follow-up is a natural combo, but I think I'd rather go for crouch mix-up. Just do this and stay in crouch. I think that's more valuable. I don't know. It's not a good move to start off with in general, but if you're going to use it, you might as well use it the right way and use it for mix-ups and your frame advantage into stance or crouch, cancel, all the good stuff. Your last low is while running 3-2. If you don't get the counter hit, they can block that. -16, which is bad. But when in heat mode, that gets powered up into like 3 blasts, and actually becomes plus near the wall because of the distance it closes. It's a weird thing. They'll probably patch. But while running 3 is a low slide, and if you think there's a counter hit, you have this gun follow up as well. So those are your lows from just neutral toolkit. They are fantastic lows. There's a lot of stuff for you to think about, let alone them thinking about defending it. Forget about it. Dangerous stuff. Full crouch, we mentioned, is a really, really strong part of her game. There's a lot of dangerous stuff here. Full crouch down forward 1, mid heat engager. Full crouch down forward 2 is the low combo starter. Right away, hard mix up they got to think about every time you're representing a crouch state. That's bad enough. But from crouch, you have access to all of your down strings. Down 4-1 is there. Down 3-2 is there. Down 3-4-1. All those are available from crouch already. Not to mention, while standing, 1-2 into pleasure time, while standing 3 into chaos judgment, and while standing 1+2, there's power crush. Bang. So if they try to interrupt, you have a power crush from crouch now, and you have stance, sidestep. Oh, great stuff. Not to mention now you can sidestep down. You can sidestep towards the screen from crouch. Things are coming up, and I tell you. A lot of stuff goes into crouch. I'm not going to list them all. You can just go check the Google Doc for that. But down back 1 is a key when you can just fake that second string and stay crouching. That's pretty good. The rest of them, just go look at the Google Doc. You'll see them all in there. It helps to memorize that list. There's like 11 moves that go into crouch. And so the more you use those, the more you can mix up out of crouch. Good stuff. Mid-range, the game plan doesn't change a lot. It's a little bit more of a breather for Anna. She's not able to pokey, jab out here. So she kind of just wants to get back in. But there's all kind of good stuff. All your forward moves. Forward 2 is effective out here. Forward, forward, 3-3 is really good in the mid version. So is forward, forward, 4. The commando roll with plus frames is a great way to get back in. Or you can stand on here and use Chaos Judgment and you kind of bait what they're doing, right? Just, hey, come get me. Whiff punishing is pretty simple because there's not a lot. It's not like a great down forward 2. If they whiff a lot, I think quarter circle 2-1 is really good. If you're fast enough at doing that, that's got excellent range to whiff punish with, as does forward 2-3. Just catch them, stepping, boop. If you're out here a little bit, just watch for it. Tag them with those, that's all you need. Whiff punishing up close is obviously just, go for the launch when you can or whatever. Sidestep, there it goes. Launcher's built into it, that's all you need. From mid-range, you got a little bit less of a choice there, but the 2 moves you have, those are really good. But that's it. That's the whole move set. I know that's a lot to take in, and it went really, really fast. But everything, all the words I just said are all written in the doc, organized like this. So you can see what they all do. You can see my notes, why they're good, etc., etc. On top of the master list of moves that has all the frame data and the properties and transitions, all of that is in there. Any other unique properties, like chip damage or the weakened state that she does, there's another tab for that in the Google Doc. You don't need to cover all that either. The purple debuff state means that everything that they block causes chip damage. Every string that you do causes chip damage when they have the debuff on. All right, look at this. It's building up over and over again. Chip damage all over the place. And that only comes from the one version of the bazookas. The Pleasure Time 1, Chaos Judgment, up forward 1. That string fires the bazooka, and up forward 3 during heat fire. But that's it. That's all there is to it. So stuff like that will be written in the Google Doc for reference too. Heat mode is not amazing for this character. It does 2 basic things, which is power up your projectile game. Boom, turns those into triple shots right there. Same thing with we talked about while running 3-2. That's safe now, and only -1 instead of 16. But add the wall. You see, it says +2 for a second. I feel like you're plus there. I'm not sure if that's real or it's very situational or a glitch or whatever. But during heat, you get a powered up version of that blast too. Chaos Judgment 3-2 is one. Bang, bang, bang. 62 damage. Look at all that. It doesn't seem to affect your Pleasure Time projectiles though. Those don't become triples. The raw versions stay what they are. It's only those string bazookas. Those get boosted big time, and a couple of them get added. She can use Lovely Tom, and after a couple of strings that she already has, up forward 3 is one of them. Now you can do up forward 3-1, bang, and up forward 3-2. Again, same thing. The red one does, or the purple one does the debuff. That's all. Forward 3-2, huge damage, and full crouch down forward 2-1 gains an extension. Which I'm not quite sure what that's for, but there it is. You can, when heat mode, you get 1 extra hit off of that launcher for what it's worth. That's it though. She doesn't do anything else in heat. There's nothing else. You get powered up projectiles, which are kind of situational to be honest. And the ones you're going to use in combo are not powered up. Up forward 3 was a really good move, so now I guess you could use it more and get debuffs and stuff out of it. Cool. Your heat smash and stuff is worth mentioning. You can do those out of stances again. 2+3 for your heat burst and 2+3 for your heat smash. Those are both accessible from Hammer Stance and from Chaos Judgment now, so keep that in mind. And your 5 heat engagers, the only one that does not launch when you're already in heat is Hammer 1. That just causes the skid on the ground, and that's it. All the rest of them are launchers. When you're in heat, 3+4, launcher. Forward 3-2, launcher. Full crouch down forward 1 is a launcher, and Chaos Judgment 2-1, all launchers. So that's pretty good. 4 versions of launchers. 3+4 is the crown jewel there because of its speed, I think. 14 frame into launch when you're in heat is really good. In combos, they all do the same thing. That's universal. They all cause the skid. But outside of combos and in heat, you get launches. You get launches from 4 out of your 5. So that's your heat system. It's not remarkable. It powers up some stuff you don't really use, and you get some extensions that you might as well use, right? If it's there, use it. It doesn't change the character at all. And the last thing I want to talk about are what I call mini combos. They're just like basic follow-ups like that. It's not a full combo. And I feel like these are more part of your moveset than they are combos. It's just like an extension, right? Forward, forward two, up, forward two. That's just like an extension to me. You should always be doing that when it hits. So there's a bunch of these. Bunch of these. The first group I want to talk about, all of these have basically the same result, which is a hard knockdown on the ground. Down, forward, 4. Again, all counter hits. Down 2. Up, forward 3. Sidestep 3. And chaos 1+2. They all cause that hard knockdown. And you can get several things off of them. Up, forward 2 is going to hit them grounded. Dashing up and heel stomp, down 3+4. That's probably one of your best bets. Play around with it though. See if you can find anything else. There's definitely going to be occasions to do like stance in the mix-ups or whatever, you know? You can kind of just use the opportunity for pressure rather than just guaranteed damage. I don't know, guaranteed damage is pretty good. I like that 40-50 damage. It's cool stuff. So all of those counter hits cause that hard knockdown. You get pretty much the same result from it, ground spike, or anything else for setup you could think about. The next group all cause hitstun, and I think they're all exactly 14 frames. So in here is stuff like 1+2. Boom, that's a real 14 frames. Chaos Judgment 1, same thing, 14. Forward 3, 3. If that hits by itself as a counter hit, like if they try to jab your mix-up or whatever, I don't know. That's also 14. That one, they're not going to get hit by highs, though. You notice they kind of crouch a little differently there. So far. They're in a lower state there. It's a slightly different, but it's still the same +14. Down, forward, 1, 2, 4. Last hit, +14 as well. 15 if you're far away, but I wouldn't count on that. And we talked about down 3, 2. That's counter hit. It becomes a combo, and it is 14. You need to be near the wall for that one. So what you do from these, forward 2, 3, bang. That will splat to the wall. Basically, your 14 frame punishers we talked about are all going to work. 3+4 works for a heat engager. Excellent stuff. You can do 3, 2 to get your frame advantage and the crouch that way. It's up to you. Some cases, like counter hit 1+2, you can hold forward. And bazooka's guaranteed. You get that shot for free, and then it applies the debuff. So that's the only one that's a little bit different. The rest of them are pretty much all the same. You're going to get a 3+4 heat engager. Like for the one that's this, you're crouched. So you can't really do anything but while standing 3+4. That's fine. Take your 14 frames, heat engage, and move on. And near the wall, that's free. So those are all 14 frame hit stun follow-ups that are free on counter hit. Remember those. Don't have to do it all at once. Again, these are written down for your reference in the doc, so little by little, start working these in. Some other random follow-ups that you get. Down 4, 1. That hit by itself. Doesn't look like much, but it's +11, and you get that for free. You can do 2, 3. You're not even going to hear it. It doesn't even make a good counter hit sound. But it works. It's 2, 3 and a chaos. There you go. So if that ever happens to come up, you should be ready for it. Some other things. Down 4, 1, 4 cancels the second hit into this little flip over thing. And when that hits, you can get a little off the ground low. That's about it. I don't think you get too much else from it. Chaos Judgment. Down, forward 3 by itself without the counter hit. You get while standing 1+2. You're into crouch in that situation. So while standing 1+2 is probably your best bet. Back. Like to the ground and go. So those are just kind of random follow-ups. The other ones are based on stances. Transitioning automatically into stance and getting something for free. Down back 2, for example. They flip over like that. And Lovely Tom hits them guaranteed. So you can just, boom, you see that counter hit, let it rip. If you don't, you can just, go for your offense from there. You can apply the debuff for free. The counter hit is even more damage for the same thing. 2, 3. Notice that little hard smack sound. Boom, boom. Chaos Judgment 2, 1. The heat engager is guaranteed from that. So 2, 3 counter hit. Heat engage is pretty damn good. Same with while standing 3. The same move basically. So now you can do 2, 1 guaranteed out of that. Down back 4 goes into hammer chance on hit. And when it's a counter hit, your elbow heat engager also guaranteed. And finally, your 2 hit. Your regular 2 jab where you can hold forward. You hold forward to go into hammer chance, hammer 1, guaranteed. Again, I don't know how you're going to smell that. It makes a sound, but like that's so fast. You got to react so fast to doing that. I guess there's nothing wrong with just kind of doing it like that and hope it hits, but it's there. That's a free counter hit in a heat engage again. So, I think that pretty much finishes it. That's the whole move list. Stances, punishers, heat mode, works. Everything I talked about is in the Google Doc, organized in sections for punishers and stances, just like I talked about. All the notes are in there. The full move list is in there, color-coded and everything. So take your time learning and be sure to check it out for references. When you're working on, getting more chaos judgment into your game, open up that sheet and be like, oh yeah, there's stuff I forgot about. I think it really, really helps to be able to see stuff as you're doing it, and the color coding and stuff. I think that goes a long way. So that's going to do it for this video. Combos is its own other video, and strategy and gameplay stuff is its own other video. So those will be linked in the description below, as is the Google Doc and everything else you might need in the description. So is there anything else I forgot or missed or corrections or stuff like that? Let me know in comments. I'd love to hear it. If there's something that's really cool that I didn't even know about, that'd be great. I do a pretty good job, if I must say, to like figure all this stuff out and test and whatnot, but I don't get through everything. I don't test sidestepping a lot. I assume what looks good is good. But if you got some notes like, oh, well, blank hits like really good sidestepping to the right, let me know. That's what the comments are for. So be sure to follow and like, subscribe, notified, all that good stuff to see these other videos in the future. And hopefully I will see you there. So till then, later.